Have you heard the joke about the cowboy and the Scotsman?
Beautiful on you.
Well, they're planning each other's wedding on this episode of Exchanging Vows.
There you are.
You're about to meet two engaged couples, Anne and Scott, and Nicole and Dave. Each couple has made plans for an ideal wedding. Plans they're about to give up as they hand over the reins for their weddings to each other. That's right, these couples are total strangers, but they've agreed to plan each other's weddings. Hi, I'm Andrea Bain, and this is Exchanging Vows. Our couples will have a brief meeting and watch some videotape clues. Then they'll choose the wedding venue, flowers, cake, even the wedding dresses for each other. The couple that comes closest to planning their challenger's dream wedding will win a honeymoon vacation.
Give it a rip, Tiger.
Our first couple is Nicole and Dave. Dave's an electrician and Nicole's a wedding photographer.
We met probably 9.5 years ago.
I actually asked him out. He was the older, good-looking guy that had his own truck.
Our second couple is Anne and Scott. Scott's a carpenter and Anne's a bill collector.
We actually met at a bar that we were regulars at.
I went up to the table where all of his friends were standing and I hadn't yet met him. And they introduced me.
You could tell she wasn't interested. About 2 nights after we met, she was walking by and I said, "Hey, Anne." She just walked right on by.
I
just blew me
him off,
right off.
And I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do it. I thought that he was a player, and I didn't want to be just another girl in the line. So I blew him off, and he kept coming. We hit it off as friends at first. I was actually trying to help him find a nice lady when we became friends, because he had had a hard time with relationships. It turned out I was the lady.
What if you had a powder blue suit with ruffles?
Oh, I'd be pimped out. I'd love it.
He's an all-around great guy. He's very sincere, very giving, very funny. We have a great time together. He's good looking.
Starting to blush. She's really hot and she's funny. She puts up with a lot of my crap, I guess. She's perfect.
A little bit of ball control. She's an amazing person inside and out. She's definitely got a heart of gold. She rarely ever speaks bad about anyone, and that's a quality that you don't normally find. She's everything I've always wanted.
He has an incredible heart. He's so sweet. He cries in movies, and he doesn't make fun of me when I cry in movies. He's jovial and he's easygoing. He squeezes the toothpaste tube in the middle, just like I do.
I've just introduced our couples and they have 15 minutes to get to know each other. They're not allowed to discuss anything wedding related, and I'm going to check back with them in a few minutes.
If we went into your car right now, what type of CDs would you have? If you got a car, you probably got a truck.
Good guess, it's a truck.
Mostly country.
What's your guys' favorite kinds of movies?
Action movies with a lot of, I don't know, she-bitches.
How old are you two?
I'm 25.
And I'm 31. I am a cougar.
We look great.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
You look good too, Scott.
Thank you. Not so bad yourself there, Dave.
Thank you.
Well, now that we're all physically attracted to each other.
Let's get it on.
Okay, guys, time's up. I hope you picked up some clues because it's the only time you guys will see each other before your weddings. Let's hope you got enough information to plan some great weddings because a honeymoon vacation is at stake. Anne and Scott will be working with wedding planner Pam McFarlane. Nicole and Dave will be helped by wedding planner Mina Kaiser. The first challenge is the wedding venue. The choices are formal, fun and funky, or country casual. Here are the videotape clues for Dave and Nicole.
She said that she would help me find a good woman, and I was supposed to introduce whoever I found or thought there might be a chance with to her, and she would let me know if they were good enough for me.
If they were worth his time.
And
She totally played him. Totally played him.
So
I could see Anne being
basically
really
we
violent
just started becoming
with another woman.
more deep into being
she
friends.
was definitely a heart of gold, waiting to be dug up as treasure.
It's quite romantic.
He probably thought of that for a week.
What do you guys think so far?
I think he's a total cowboy.
Yeah.
Either that, like he looks way too comfortable in
So
that
it's not
hat,
put
so-
on.
His cowboy boots are worn. The
Stuff
jeans
like
were
that,
worn
so-
in. They're not just freshly
The tag's
bought.
not still on it
Yeah.
or anything.
And he used the word folk quite a few times too.
Oh, okay.
So that's a giveaway.
Okay. So in terms of a venue then, I think maybe something like a farmhouse idea or maybe a historical place.
Yeah, I think very casual.
Country.
I think so for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
casual would be the way to go.
So Dave and Nicole head off to check out Calgary's Heritage Park.
All aboard!
Oh, this place is awesome.
It's a beautiful place. So is this room here where the ceremony would be then?
Yes. The bridal party will stand in front of the velvet curtain. We do have the antique piano as well, which can be used.
So you guys like this place?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
it's
awesome.
beautiful. I think it's perfect.
I think it'll fit their personalities really good too.
It's a country casual venue for the cowboy couple, Anne and Scott. What will they choose for Nicole and Dave? Here are their clues.
My most romantic moment with Dave would have to be actually when he proposed. We just sat there on the beach and watched the sunset in Hawaii, and it was just beautiful and precious.
She's into the fairy tale. Yeah, she wants.
That's what I think too.
She
She's kind
wants
of
the
got a
fairy
little
tale.
bit of a Cinderella thing going on.
I'm a huge Tiger Woods fan, big golf fan. I golf in my house, I golf in the snow, I golf anywhere. I think about golf when I sleep.
This guy likes to golf.
Dave's a golf fanatic, so the choice of venue seems to be a no-brainer for Anne and Scott. Pam takes him to look at the Elbow Valley Golf and Country Club.
Wow,
This is nice.
Typically, they have the ceremony in this side of the room. You can have that room closed off.
Where would she come in to make her entrance?
Well, it would be set up with an aisle right here.
I would say just for her entrance, because the focus should be on the bride, obviously, on her wedding day, that maybe we should leave the whole room open.
I think she should come right from the back.
Exactly.
And then have the focal point in front of the fireplace in these 3 picture windows.
Might also relax them if they're a little nervous to see really nice view and he can just be thinking of golf.
I would consider this traditional and formal.
Both couples think they've chosen the ideal venue for their competitors. Let's see who's right.
For my wedding, I'd prefer to have the country casual.
Our dream wedding would be someplace really fun and really funky.
After the first round, Dave and Nicole lead by 1 point. Next up, our competitors will choose the flowers. Here are the clues for Dave and Nicole.
Does he still bring me flowers? If he had ever brought me flowers, then yes, I believe he would still be bringing them to me. I did receive a rose on January 8th of 2001, though, and it was very, very special, so.
The best gifts I've ever received. She bought me a toothbrush for her place, a pair of pajama bottoms.
I bought him the pajama bottoms because I was sick of him being in my clothes. So.
Might be a cross-dresser.
The flower choices for cross-dressing cowboys and everyone else on the show are classic, wild and woolly, or handmade.
Our theme is country casual.
So, do you think she'd like roses?
I think roses, but not that round bouquet of roses. I think that's too contemporary for her.
Okay.
Put twigs and stuff in it instead.
Yeah, we could do twigs and berries and a mixture of some different flowers. I think the bouquet that we're describing with the twigs and berries would be more of a wild and woolly.
Yeah, I think she'd pick handmade though. Is what I think she would want.
I think wild and woolly as well, actually.
Some kind of outnumbered here. Wild and woolly it is.
Wild and woolly.
I guess it is.
Wild and woolly? I'll pull a few things from
Yeah,
the cooler
wow.
and we can have a look and...
Got any beer in that cooler?
Unfortunately, no. We've got Mini Gerber here in a nice vibrant orange. These are some Hypericum berries. This is a Leonidas rose.
Kind of looks dead.
Looks dead?
Kind of.
Is it too dark?
Is it supposed to be 2 different colors again?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's twigs and roses for Anne and Scott's country-themed wedding. Now it's their turn to select flowers for Nicole and Dave. Nicole, what turns you on?
I'm not answering that. No way.
Tell 'em I smile.
She's really shy on that subject.
Yes.
She doesn't want to touch it at all.
Oh, we're not putting her in a satin thong, that's
No, I
for sure.
get that.
Thing that turns me on about Dave is his smile.
He told her to say that.
I think my sexiest moment was when we were in Hawaii and Nicole was just walking around in her bathing suit all the time. It was like, sort of thing. She just looked really hot, that's all.
I don't think this couple wants handmade flowers.
I think they'll like classical more.
I think that we're best getting them more of a tropical arrangement because they got engaged in Hawaii.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe in pale yellows, pale oranges.
The room decor is burgundy and decor and hunter green. So if you go with things like a light yellow, a rust, a burnt orange, that's nowhere else except for in this bouquet, and I don't think it's gonna go.
Or there's also the palm fronds, which would be extremely tropical.
That's
Tropical.
That's
That's nice.
This really works well because
it
that kind of
does.
reminds me of a tropical location.
So our nice classic bouquet right here.
It's classic flowers with a tropical twist for Dave and Nicole, and wild and woolly floral arrangements for Anne and Scott. Are they right?
Well, the flowers for my wedding, as I already have wild and woolly, so definitely handmade.
We'd like the floral arrangements for our wedding to be hand done.
Both couples wanted handmade style floral arrangements, so the score remains 1-0 for Dave and Nicole. Both couples are trying really hard to create a great wedding for their challengers, and neither couple is overly worried about their own wedding.
I really don't have a biggest fear about the wedding other than her not showing up.
My biggest fear is him actually throwing up on me.
My biggest hope for our wedding is that we just have a great time.
I think the only fear I have that the venue won't be good, and maybe the garb I gotta wear, Nicole's dress, I know, should be concerned about that.
The wedding wardrobe is Dave's biggest concern. Anne will be the first to see her wedding wardrobe and the first to see how much more there is to the game than choosing flowers.
I'm very nervous. I'm shaking like a leaf.
Dave and Nicole are holding on to their 1-point lead on exchanging vows. Now they're about to face their biggest challenge yet, choosing Anne's wedding wardrobe. The choices for brides are classic wedding gown, modern wedding gown, casual party dress, or a pantsuit. Here are their clues.
I make it a very special point to tell Scott how much I love him every day, in case something happens and I don't have the opportunity tomorrow.
That's pretty savvy.
He doesn't even have to do anything but look at me, and to me that's romantic. Buys me a card, it's so sweet. Or even he'll clean the kitchen. As corny as it sounds, I really do feel that that's romantic. He's thinking of me.
I wish his buddies could see this.
If I could be any woman besides myself right now, I would have to say that, wow.
Look at him looking at her.
My mom.
It's nice.
I see her in more of a country lace
Exactly.
kind of dress.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like maybe
Even with the little collar.
Exactly.
The lace collar and the sleeves with the collar.
Exactly.
The cuffs.
Yeah. That's what I see too.
Yeah.
I see it too then.
Great.
So can you tell me a little bit about her?
She's very country with the permed hair and the bangs.
So we have a two-piece wedding gown here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is another one. It has a tank style top to it, and it has gloves.
I like the gloves. I think she'd like the gloves.
I don't like the gloves.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're kind of like 1910.
1910?
I think that's going way back. Is that contemporary?
We need something more lacy, more Stampede Princess.
Lacy and racy?
Lacy and racy.
So we have another ivory gown, and it has the organza overlay.
That's beautiful.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's nice.
I really like it. It's very Victorian, very country looking, and it would suit Heritage Park.
When Anne comes in for her dress fitting, we'll find out if a lacy and racy classic wedding gown is what she wants for her waltz down the aisle. Now it's time for Anne and Scott to choose a cake for their competitors. The cake options are fancy and fussy, quirky, or homemade style.
If I had to serve Nicole dessert, it would definitely be ice cream and probably M&M's, because she's a chocolate pig.
If I was a baker, I would make Dave apple pies because he loves apple pies, and I would never cook one. So
I think the cake would definitely have to be chocolate because, as he said, she's a chocoholic. Because he's so easygoing, and obviously he loves her to pieces and would give her anything to make her happy.
He'd go along
He would
with
go with whatever
she
she
chose.
wanted, and I think, what do you think? Fancy and fussy?
I think fancy and fussy.
Yeah. So we don't want anything too busy.
No, like a traditional cake, you know, you got your 3 tiers.
Right. Still fancy, still fussy, but not fancy and fussy all.
Like, I like the heart style. The biggest portion has to be chocolate.
Okay.
That's good.
Hey now.
Cake feeding another woman.
So we're gonna go with a 3-tiered heart-shaped cake. One layer's light chocolate with fudge. The next layer is a white cake with lemon filling. And the top layer, the smallest layer, will be a marble cake with a hazelnut filling.
Well, if I were to throw her a party, it would definitely be outdoor summertime, probably on a beach or by a lake.
If I were to make Scott a dinner and I wanted to surprise him, it's not so much the food that I would make so much as the atmosphere that I would set up for it, with the candles and everything. And just a word to the wise, never cook naked.
She's fine.
Could burn myself on the dish if I'm not wearing clothing.
He came in a cowboy hat and the Wranglers and the boots and the big belt buckle.
We picked like a country kind of feel to it, too.
Okay.
Do you guys like the tiered look with the pillars, or whatever you call it?
I don't know about the pillars.
There's the barn shape with a cartoon drawing of the couple at the...
That might be a little over the top.
That's a little...
To me, she looks like a Stampede princess. And I think she would appreciate more of a fancy, fussy cake.
Fancy fussy.
That's my final decision.
Final answer?
Final answer.
So here's an example of something that is keeping it all very classical.
We'll do the chocolate cake on the bottom. Then we can do a white layer for the people who don't like chocolate. And then on the very top, we can do another chocolate layer with mixed berries.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
They've both chosen classic cakes with lots of chocolate. Are they right?
We would like our wedding cake to be quirky.
I guess I would like our wedding cake to be quirky.
Both couples wanted a quirky cake, but they gave each other fancy ones instead. Nicole and Dave maintained their 1-point lead with a straightforward game strategy.
We decided to go for the dream wedding because you only do it once, really, and I think it'd be fun for someone else to choose everything for us.
And I think some of our choices too are a little bit different than maybe what they thought type of people we were. So I guess that was kind of a strategy. Not much though. We didn't put much thought into it. Maybe we should have.
Yeah. Anne and Scott are also trying to give and get a dream wedding.
I guess my strategy was sort of putting myself in their heads. I know that he would be easygoing and laid back, and I know that she would want to be absolutely beautiful. So just really thinking their way and then putting a little touch of me and, or I guess us in there too. Our biggest thing was to give them a beautiful, beautiful wedding that they will always remember and never regret that they did it this way.
Anne hopes Dave and Nicole won't regret participating in the Exchanging Vows challenge, and she hopes she won't have regrets when she sees her wedding dress for the first time.
Let's just say I only shake when I'm cold, and I'm very nervous. I'm shaking like a leaf. I mean, I'm honestly fearing that it's going to be some dress that you'd wear to a hoedown, barn dance type of thing, and that scares me a lot.
Are you ready to see your gown?
As ready as I'm ever going to be, yes.
Unveil the big moment. They have picked for you an ivory, organza, halter top wedding gown.
Oh, that's
gown with the long train.
It's beautiful.
What do you think of that?
It's way better
than you expected?
Than what I was thinking. It's a little big.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful. I'm really glad that she gave me a halter. I was really dreading the strapless deal. Well, I was hoping for white, but this isn't so bad. I mean, it's not bright pink, it's not yellow, it's nice. I chose little white cowboy boots, actually. I think they'll be all right. I mean, they're under the dress, so nobody will really see them. Scott and I, after all, did meet at a country bar, and we both love that, so we wanted to make sure that we had that little touch in there. I would like for my wedding gown for it to be a classic wedding gown. I would like for my wedding gown to be classic white.
Nicole and Dave got it half right and moved further into the lead. The score is now 2-0. Coming up, does Dave really want to wear a skirt to his wedding? We're halfway through the Exchanging Vows challenge. Nicole and Dave are still firmly in the lead. Both couples got the cake and flowers wrong, but Nicole and Dave scored on the venue and the bride's dress style. With Nicole's wardrobe and the groom's clothes still to come, there's still a chance that Anne and Scott will catch up. The pressure's on as they try to select a dress for a woman they barely know. Here are their clues.
Okay, the woman who I would like to be would have to be Julia Roberts. For some reason, I've always looked up to her. I go to all her movies. I just love her.
Plus, they look identical.
She does look a lot like Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I think it's the mouth.
Do you think so at all?
I think it's
do.
I think it's the mouth. I think her smile.
Oh Lord, I don't see any resemblance at all.
I think what really turns me on about Nicole is just, how pretty she is all the time. She's got a, a really good attitude, the way she carries herself, and she's just irresistible.
So this tells us that it doesn't matter what she shows up in on her wedding day, he's going to think she's
He's gonna
gorgeous.
love her. Absolutely.
Being a wedding photographer, she's seen a lot of dresses.
I agree.
And see, and I don't want to give her just the run-of-the-mill wedding gown for her.
With this one here, I'll show you the front. It's a very, very unique look.
Like it's a nice, modern, very elegant, very sleek.
So
See, and I know the halter would be very flattering for her figure.
I think this is kind of busy. There's a whole lot of detail going on in the dress, both at the front and on the back. She's a wedding photographer, and she probably sees 40 different brides a year. And I'm just concerned that if we get something with too much flair, I think we'll regret it.
I have a beautiful one here. This one
That's
has
very
a
pretty.
wrap.
That is very pretty.
It's a strapless.
Okay, I'm not really sure about the strapless idea. She and I are built very similarly together, and I know that in strapless, I don't know if she's the same, but in strapless, because we're not very well endowed, it's maybe not as comfortable as it could be.
This is the kind of thing that's really in the fashion magazines these days. It's very in style, and our bride is a very stylish lady.
But I'm wondering, is she a flower kind of girl? Do you know what the flowers remind me of? Couches in the 60s, where they were all floral print. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's necessarily the flowers or the design on it. It's how it looks, period. I like that style.
think
I
she's-
like the way that looks.
This is something that she may have already seen 25 times this year.
Yeah, I don't think so, because this is a brand new style that's coming out for next summer. For fitting purposes, this has the French braid style. This is going to require very few alterations.
I have not had one argument for this dress. It's been all arguments against this dress, and I'm really concerned about that. I don't have a great gut feeling about that particular dress.
So
How do
say
you feel,
that.
sweetie? Picture Nicole.
Not that I picture Nicole a lot, but I don't.
Good thing. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble.
I do like this. I like this style in the back and stuff, but I did, when I first saw that one, I did like that one.
I'll pay you extra money if you want to help us make the decision. I tried. I tried. This one was my gut feeling right off the start.
Well, like I say, that was the first one that popped out in my head too. So
I think it's going to be flattering on her. It's different.
it's white.
It's classic. It's gorgeous.
I think we're gonna go for it.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Anne and Scott have made a choice that their wedding planner is not happy about. We'll find out who's right when Nicole comes in for her dress fitting. Meanwhile, it's time to choose clothes for the grooms. The choices are tuxedo, business suit, or traditional heritage.
The most dangerous thing I've done in my life is probably bull riding.
It's pretty
And
dangerous.
I worked.
He's a cowboy. He's a hockey talk.
I've bungee jumped, and the next step is without the cord.
The next step's marriage, honey.
The next step for Nicole and Dave is picking a Western-style tux for Scott and hoping it's right.
The gunslinger coat, for example, it's the longer. We also have the Shenandoah, the shorter style jacket. Another type, it's like the Shenandoah jacket, only it has the tails.
These would be too formal.
Yeah. One option for a tie that you can use with that is the bulldogger tie.
That's like a Chippendales tie.
Almost. We have one more, and it's what I call a floppy bow tie.
Okay.
So
Seems
that's why-
old-fashioned.
Yeah, it is old-fashioned.
That looks classy.
It does. It actually
Yeah.
looks really nice because the fabrics are quite similar.
So I guess looking at this, I would kind of call it like an old Western tuxedo
Right.
kind of thing.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's perfect for the day.
We'll find out on his wedding day if Scott's as much of a cowboy as Nicole and Dave think. Now it's Anne and Scott's turn to choose clothes for Dave.
I think the most dangerous thing I've done in my life is just when I had my motorbike, I used to just drive it really, really stupid when I was younger and really, really fast and had a lot of close calls, but no major wipeouts. If we travel anywhere in the world, we definitely go to Scotland first because my mom was born and raised there and all our ancestors are there, so I'd really, really like to go see that. We got a lot of Scottish roots.
He likes to be a little more flashy at times.
He does?
At times, I think he likes to showboat a little.
I don't think he has any flash. I really don't think that he's flashy.
Yeah, I didn't get any flash from him at all.
No.
Whatever she says goes.
I'm just off my rocker then, I don't know.
No, but you bring in the valuable male perspective.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm valuable.
Scott's valuable male perspective would put Scottish showboat Dave in a kilt for his wedding.
And I need to find a nice kilt.
He's got very deep Scottish roots. His mom was born and raised in Scotland.
And we just wanted to show him respect by saying, you know, we were really thinking about you. Unfortunately, we don't know his tartan, so we need something very, very neutral, something that won't be offensive to his family.
This one here is Flower of Scotland, this is Black Watch, and this one here is Royal Stewart. If this is being planned as a surprise, then I would suggest perhaps maybe going with the Black Watch.
The argument that we had was about putting Dave in a kilt.
I felt very strongly that in respect for his family heritage, you see them wearing their kilts all the time.
I asked him how sure he was. He goes, 80%. And I said, do you really think we should base this on 80%? And he says, well, 80% is pretty good. And he goes, well, maybe 75. I'm like, oh, see, now you're going down? I said, is this what we're doing? You're trying to convince me and you can't even decide what percentage you're at?
Is there different styles of shirts?
That really all depends on his individual taste.
Well, unfortunately, his own personal taste isn't going to matter. We have to do this for him.
This would be a perfect example of a Highland tuxedo.
Perfect.
Tuxedo.
I think this is good. I think this will work.
We'll find out later if Scott is right about what Dave wants to wear on his wedding day. Now it's time for Nicole to try on her wedding dress. As a wedding photographer, she's seen all kinds of dresses, and she knows what she doesn't want.
Oh, it's nice to see you all here today. You must be excited.
I am.
Oh, to see you again.
Yeah.
It's here waiting for you.
It's white.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, it's a beautiful gown. See?
Oh, it's got the neck collar though.
Try it on, huh?
It looks a little country. Do you guys think it looks a little country? I wanted strapless.
Oh, you wanted a strap.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a country kind of girl. It's really big, Edith. Here comes me in my massive dress.
Oh, wow. Now, come up here so we can see how it's gonna go. Now, look at the mirror there.
Do you realize how much is in this dress? There's like a crinoline and all that tulle in there. It's a typical Calgary wedding dress. It's very pretty, but I see it. I'm a wedding photographer and I see it every weekend. My wedding gown is going to be contemporary. My wedding dress will be classic white.
Anne and Scott thought they picked the perfect gown for Nicole. But as a wedding veteran, she's seen it all, and this classic dress is not what she hoped for. They gain a point for the color, finally ending their shutout. The score is now 2-1 for Nicole and Dave. Coming up, it's Anne and Scott's big day. They've played the game, but now Anne wants her dream wedding.
I'm nervous about getting my hair done and throwing on the dress, and my girls and I haven't even done a rehearsal yet.
In a few hours, Anne will be exchanging her vows with Scott. She knows what dress she's going to wear, but she's still in the dark about everything else.
My throat did not want any food going anywhere near me. Like, I'm not nervous about marrying Scott. I'm nervous about getting my hair done and throwing on the dress, and my girls and I haven't even done a rehearsal yet. And now I have big, giant poof hair. 80s hair. I'm a rock vixen. Woo-hoo! I'm hoping that my flowers will not come with like little creatures in them, but other than that, I'm not picky.
There you go. Okay.
I hope that the venue is not in a gas station, not at a homeless shelter type area. Let's see, a cave,
cave, probably not good.
Oh. Dude, that looks awesome. Where's my fork, right?
That looks amazing. Thank you so much, Brian.
No, I hope Scott will be wearing actually something very, I don't know, it'll probably be my last opportunity to see him in something like a tux or, you know, just, you know? So that's what I want to see him wearing.
Hey, Scott. Hey. You look awesome.
Thank you very much.
You like it?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
It's awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. This is actually exactly what I was going to pick for myself.
He knows he looks good. Look at that.
I'm doing the strut, you know? How do you like me now? I definitely would like to be wearing a tuxedo.
Heritage Park.
Stay on her, stay on her.
Nice. Oh, you guys rock. Awesome.
I, Scott, give you, Anne, my undying love and commitment to be your life's companion. You came into my life and filled my heart. I will take your hand when you are weary and love you when you are old. I will give you the best of myself. Honesty and love, patience and understanding.
That patience thing is a really hard thing.
I cherish and hold sacred our bond as husband and wife, as best friends, till death parts us.
I, Anne, give you, Scott, my undying love and commitment to be your life's companion. You came into my life and filled my heart. I will give you the best of myself, honesty and love, patience and understanding. I cherish and hold sacred our bond as husband and wife, as best friends, till death parts us.
Now, upon the authority vested in me by the province of Alberta, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Kiss me. Amazing, guys. I would have never even been able to plan this myself.
Fantastic.
The location was amazing. And the flowers are beautiful. This rocks. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Risk of kind of blowing the game, but
you know what? I don't care.
You know what? It was awesome.
They deserve everything they get.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Anne and Scott had a spectacular day. Now they hope they can make Nicole and Dave just as happy on their wedding day and win the honeymoon vacation. Coming up, Nicole and Dave's wedding day presents a few challenges for wedding planner Pam.
Are we having problems there?
It's Dave and Nicole's wedding day. At the golf course venue, an early snowfall is putting a chill on the proceedings.
You know, it's Calgary, and I think that's going to cause a couple problems for us. Nicole is a professional photographer, so this is not what she wanted her wedding day to look like.
The weather is crappy. It won't stop snowing, and the wind is picking up more and more. Dave's flipping out. Dave's quite nervous about this day. You know, because we've only been dating 9.5 years. She's gonna put us in.
Anne and Scott should have been here half an hour ago, so I'm a little concerned because the roads are kind of bad. bring boxes? I thought that they would have been in boxes. I'm kind of surprised. I've never seen somebody deliver a cake not in a box. There's just 3 freestanding cakes in a van. If he would have had to stop short or had to make any kind of speed adjustments in his van, we would have had mushed cake. I can handle snow, but I don't want the snow to get on the cake either.
I forgot my veil. I got everything else, forgot the veil.
This doesn't look good. It does not look good. It looks like a hack job. Did you bake these cakes with pillars in them? Because what are these 3 things here? Are those pillars?
Yeah, actually pillars, yeah.
How come we have pillars in a freestanding cake?
I thought maybe crabs.
Pardon me?
Crabs.
So you thought we were stacking this cake?
That's right.
So
yeah.
did you bring the stacking pillars in too?
No.
So you made a cake with pillars in it to stack it, but you didn't bring the pillars to stack it, you brought a floating tray. Oh. Are we having problems there? We'll fix it once it gets on the stand, I guess. Now, is this stand crooked or is the cake crooked? Can you adjust the stand at all? Is this a stand that you don't use much?
Not much, no.
You don't, eh?
No.
Okay. So you wouldn't have tested it before you left the bakery this morning to make sure it's
Actually, no.
straight. This looks like a homemade cake. It looks like a hack job. The only saving grace is that we're putting fresh flowers on this cake. So I know that Teresa from Peas Blossoms is gonna fix this. Because we can't put this out on the floor right now. It looks terrible.
My little sister, I'm so proud of you and how well you're doing and how you've made it to today. And I know that you and Dave will be really happy together. Timmy, thank you.
This is the aisle runner?
Yeah.
Okay, how long is it?
I really haven't agreed with the decisions that Anne and Scott have made. Anne has made the decisions. There's no doubt about that. And in my opinion, Anne has made the decisions based on what Anne wants for the bride. And I think the point of this game is to make decisions based on what the bride and groom want for themselves. So I think they're gonna like the facility, for sure. They're gonna like the venue. I think it really captures the bride and groom's personality. And that's the only decision that they let me make.
Well, you're the decorating guru. You help us
Yeah,
out.
but you guys are making the decisions here. These are not my
Well, we
decisions
can
to make.
decide, but it's just
I
a
don't
matter
know.
of, like, we don't play with a lot of ivy and tulle, so.
I'm very confident about the groom's attire. I mean, that was a sticking point. If it was up to Anne today, David would be here in khakis and a Hawaiian shirt.
No, the only thing to disagree was Dave's clothes.
Yeah, that was the biggest disagreement.
She didn't agree with the Highland tux.
At first.
But I stood my ground. I stayed firm.
I don't think that the bride's gonna be happy with her dress. I think that she's gonna look beautiful, but I don't think she's gonna like that dress. There's another dress in that store that should have been Nicole's dress.
I'm confident that we did make the right choices. The only concern I have right now is we're having a bit of trouble with the cake.
And I was kind of under the assumption that my role here would be to help them in their decisions and give some intuition and guide them. No, 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 no. Anything that I had, any professional opinion or my experience, expertise working with brides, no weight at all in this competition.
Pam's been good. She's been really supportive. Too much.
What do you think of this, Anne? You can say no. You're not going to hurt my feelings. On each side?
Maybe on the
I'm thinking
corners.
maybe one on each corner.
Yeah, I think on the corners instead.
Well, I hope Dave will be wearing a kilt. That's what he's always wanted to wear, and that's what I hope he's wearing.
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you very much.
You look better than we thought. Are you okay with this?
Oh, I love it. It's perfect. Yeah, you nailed it. It's great. That's just what I picked, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's what I said. I said I want to
May
wear
I fix you?
Sure.
You know what?
Half
Maybe I
of
didn't
us had
fix you. Maybe
doubts.
you had it right.
So who
see,
picked
now
it?
I completely.
I did.
Well,
You did?
I did.
But he was the one who said, I'm like 80% sure we should put him in a kilt. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know. And
This is actually what I would have picked too.
all right.
I'm freaking. Yeah, I'm really nervous actually. Thought it passed snow, maybe. Or tripping or something like that.
I have no idea where we are.
Elbow Valley.
Are you excited?
I think we're going to a golf course. Oh, big dress coming through. Well, big dress. And she's already in a kilt.
I, David, take you, Nicole, to be my wife, and I do promise and covenant to be your loving and faithful husband, for better, for worse, for richer or poor, in sickness and in health, so long as we both shall live.
I, Nicole, take you, David, to be my husband, and I do promise and covenant to be your faithful and loving wife, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, so long as we both shall live.
Oh my.
The cake was horrible.
Like an 80s traditional hard icing thing.
Now, who's won the honeymoon vacation? We'll find out when Exchanging Vows returns. Anne and Scott, Nicole and Dave, congratulations on your marriages and your wedding planning abilities. Now that you're married, I'm sure you guys are feeling totally relieved, right? Now it's time to find out who planned the wedding that's closest to the other couple's dream wedding and who's gonna walk away with a dream honeymoon vacation. Okay, let's start with the biggest challenge, the wedding dresses. You both chose classic gowns for the other bride. That was the right choice for Anne, but not for Nicole. So Nicole and Dave get that point.
All about the love.
For the dress color, Anne was hoping for white, but her dress was ivory. Nicole also wanted white, and that's what she got. So that ties up the score. On to the groom's clothes. Scott was happy in his tuxedo, so was Dave in his kilt. The score remains tied as we recap the flowers and cakes. You both wanted hand-done flowers and a quirky cake for yourselves, but you both chose something different for the other couple. Anne and Scott stayed with a classic theme for both challenges. Nicole and Dave picked a classic fussy cake, but went for wild floral arrangements. No points for anybody there, and you're still tied, so now it all comes down to the venue selection. Nicole and Dave, you chose a country casual location for the cowboy couple. You were right. Anne and Scott, you chose a traditional and formal venue for the golf lovers. But they wanted something fun and funky. So congratulations, Nicole and Dave. You're the winners of a dream honeymoon vacation in a Caribbean destination of your choosing. Anne and Scott, thank you so much for joining us, and join us next time for Exchanging Vows.
You know what the best thing is? It wasn't a shout out. That's all we cared about.
Always wanted to go to Idaho.
I know. It's all in your potato.
Where is the Caribbean?
Hang a right,
For sure, we
hang
know
a
that.
right and hit south.
So,
Yeah, just keep going down. Eventually hit it.